So recently on Hasan and Ethan Klein's shitty-ass podcast or show that they run, they called out Abba and Preach, fellow commentary-ish channel. Yeah, you could call them a commentary channel, just like social issues channel. Good stuff over there. They usually drop some good level-headed takes consistently. But Hasan and H3, on the other hand, the dumbasses of the internet. Both of them are competing for Hall of Fame records of how many dog shit takes you can have consistently, one after another. And today's case is no different, where they try to expose and call out Abba and Preach.
Bunch of those. I mean, he watched like Abba and was it Abba and Preach or Abba and
He
Peach?
He
watched them a lot.
No.
Oh.
It's Peaches and Cream.
I have no opinion on those guys because every time I've talked about them, they've cut like so many
They're
videos.
giant pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They're assholes, and they're.
I think they're like
they're peaches
like
and cream. They're soft.
they can sometimes be like agreeable, but I think that's why it's like kind of insidious. Where
They're soft.
I'm just dumbfounded by Ethan's approach with all of this. Ethan, you are a fucking man who goes and wears diapers and posts it online. I mean, what is your approach? What kind of angle are you trying to attack at where you're calling anyone else soft, whatever the fuck that means, on the internet? There's numerous pictures of you out on the internet looking like this. Like, do all the insults you want, calling them peaches and cream, calling them soft, but I guarantee you're never gonna find a picture of them wearing a fucking diaper.
sometimes be like agreeable, but I think that's why it's like kind of insidious. Where
They're soft. Bro.
they'll come across like reasonable at certain points, and
I'm
then
sorry,
they'll just say something so unhinged. I'm like, what the fuck?
No.
Wow, it's almost like you agree with someone sometimes, but also disagree with them other times. Real mind-blowing shit on the Hasan and H3H3 show.
Points, and
I'm
then
sorry,
they'll just
y'all-
say something so unhinged. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I'm sorry. Y'all guys get in front of the camera and talk like you're preaching. Dude, you guys are soft. They take shit out of context to try to like quote unquote dunk.
Okay, but all of that aside, just as a nickname.
Peaches and cream, because they're soft, bro. They're like a
No,
nice
I don't really
sweet
like it
bowl
that
of
much.
oatmeal.
Thank you, Hasan.
I don't really like it that much.
Not good.
Okay, I think it demasculates them, and that's why I like it. I think it demasculates them, and that's why I like it.
Just let the cringe set in. I think calling them peaches and cream demasculates them. What the fuck happened to this guy? This guy used to be witty. This guy used to be funny. What the fuck, dude? What is this? And Abba and Preach also brought this up in their video responding to them on how these are the same people who will go around extremely progressive spaces calling out other people for making the slightest joke about anything LGBT, anything about a gay person, anything about a trans person. They call out someone immediately, calling them transphobic, calling them homophobic for the slightest joke or the slightest insult at one of them. Yet they use the same ammunition to go at other people and make fun of them, just as the same transphobes or homophobes that they call out, trying to insult someone else by calling them feminine. I know it's obnoxious at this point because how many fucking hypocrisy cases has the internet found on both Hasan and H3H3, but this is just example 10,000 on their dumb fuckery. And also, if you watch Abba and Preach, they're not insecure, red pill, fake alpha males where they would get mad at being emasculated or being called feminine. If you're secure and if you're confident in yourself, who gives a fuck about being called feminine or peaches and cream to try to get emasculated? Like, if you know who you are and if you have people close to you, around you, who view you a certain way, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about being called feminine or anything? And also, just a reminder, this is the same Ethan Klein who said this shit straight to a gay man's face.
But there have been times, I think one that comes to mind was maybe Jordan Peterson, that you described as probably being someone that would be a bottom. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. You can't always tell, like, who's the top, who's the bottom.
So do you find it offensive if I say, by being like, oh, he's probably a bottom? Is that the problem?
Absolutely.
It's offensive.
Because the gay men already, you have to deal with certain assumptions about femininity and masculinity.
I mean, it is funny though.
That's all I'm asking for, is just be a little more conscious of it.
So would you consider yourself a top or a bottom, or you don't do that the labels?
And I mean this with all peace and love and with respect, Ethan. It's none of your business.
But you have a preference, one way or the other.
But that's another dangerous assumption too.
Can I guess?
A lot of gay men don't.
You tell me if it's right. If I guess right. If you're on the bottom,
really
it doesn't
know.
mean you're like a beta. You could be alpha and also still be on the bottom. But if you were, does the poop pass like any differently from before? Or is it all normal functions? Like I get it doesn't leak out, but I wonder if it just comes out a little.
So to all the gay people out there, just know that these are your allies. These are your fake allies who go and use your same lifestyle as an insult the minute they can when it benefits them.
Thing about Abba and Preach that they don't know about me. They haven't they don't bother me enough yet. But I'll tell you this. I'm fucking insane. And if you want to do the war thing, that's my favorite thing in the world. But I'm close.
God.
They're pathetic. They're liars. They're dishonest, and they're phonies.
Wow, dude, you're going to war with them? You're declaring war online with Abba and Preach? Wow, dude, you look like a badass here. Definitely don't look like you have the most sensitive pussy of all time. How is it? How sensitive is your pussy, Ethan Klein? Let us know in the comments. And this guy uses the same tactic of just repeating the same bullshit over and over again and hoping it sticks, without even substantiating any of the shit he's talking about. So calling them dishonest, calling them liars. Ethan's just repeating the same shit over and over again, hoping that it just becomes the truth if he says it long enough, without actually even holding himself responsible for backing up anything he's saying.
I mean, look, they're like at the edge of the manosphere, and they used to like own a lot of manosphere guys, but then they also have some like conservative points of view. They've cultivated a big brand for themselves.
They came out.
They're like, not that this is, I mean, you're comparing them to like some of the worst people, but like I guess they're better than Fresh and Fit and stuff for sure. Like,
well,
like
that's
when we first heard
debatable.
about them.
I'm just saying, like, they are more agreeable. Like, they are, as far as I know, and their politics might have changed, but it seems like they're like, anti-overt white supremacy, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They do shit on that.
I feel like they've become a gateway. I feel like the first time they talked about me was defending Fresh and Fit.
Right.
It was
That's
so
true.
bizarre. This girl called in and was telling us about this horrible date she had with Fit. And then they make a video saying how like she's a liar and fuck it. I didn't watch it. I watched some of it, but it was upsetting, so I didn't watch it.
So just a little bit of context. Ethan Klein brought on this girl who absolutely did not have any evidence and was genuinely trying to accuse one of the members of Fresh and Fit, who I don't like at all. Fuck those Fresh and Fit guys. They're dumb fucks, and they abuse the copyright system to censor their critics. But regardless, just because you do all that doesn't mean that you should bring on a random girl to your own platform, accusing someone else of a false sexual assault allegation. And by the way, them holding the principle of calling you out on platforming this girl accusing someone else with no evidence of a sexual assault has nothing to do with defending Fresh and Fit because they're like buddies with Fresh and Fit or anything. It's again just defending the principle of, hey, we shouldn't just platform false fucking rape allegations or sexual assault allegations. And funny enough, they also made a video defending Hasan from the same thing when people tried to falsely accuse him of some shit. So I just can't wait for the day for Ethan to be accused of some similar shit and no one comes to bat for him. No one defends him because he's dug his grave so goddamn deep in this believe all victim, which realistically is believe all accusations mindset, that when something comes out on him, he can't say, no, this is false, guys, because he's already accused someone else on the basis of nothing but just their word. So I can't wait till someone's word fucks you over.
I watched some of it, but it was upsetting, so I didn't watch it.
And then he just blatantly says he doesn't even watch their content, yet just went on accusing them of being liars, of clipping them out of context, and overall being dishonest. I mean, this shit's just comical. This guy has no backbone, no principles, and doesn't stand for fucking anything. It's astonishing how he still has such a consistent following.
Like I said, I don't know enough about them. I have seen like some of their commentary on like trans issues, and it just seemed like a cookie cutter transphobic shit.
And by the way, the cookie cutter transphobic shit is just them thinking that trans women shouldn't be allowed in the same sports as biological women. Wow, dude, yeah. Cookie cutter, real transphobia there.
You're right in the way that like I see them talking about like this just pearly things. Like they do have like takes that I think are.
That's why I said they have a lot of like agreeable takes, and then they have like some where it's just like,
I know, crazy shit, right? You agree with someone sometimes, but you also disagree with them other times. It's glad to see Hasan, his high IQ brain, is coming to this conclusion live on air, so we can congratulate him in the special needs class. You agree with someone sometimes, Hasan, but also you don't have to agree with them with everything. Good job, Hasan. Keep it up and you'll get a gold star next time. But yeah, good to see Hasan and H3H3's brains are kicking it. operating on consistently 2 brain cells. Shout out to them, shout out to the special needs class, and see you guys tomorrow.